It was late, too late for anyone to be outside. The wind howled across the empty colony fields, carrying the sound of rain hitting metal roofs. Liam, a former human soldier, was asleep in his small cabin near the edge of the forest. After the war ended, he chose to live alone, far from cities and noise. He liked the silence. He liked the peace. But tonight, something was different. Knock, knock, knock. The sound was soft at first. Liam turned in his bed. Maybe it was just a branch tapping the door. Then knock, knock, knock. Louder, desperate. Not the wind at Liam sat. Up quickly, his training kicked in. He grabbed the old blaster by his bed and moved to the door. He didn't turn on the lights. Instead, he stood by the edge of the window and peeked outside. A figure. No -3.1 tall shape stood in the rain, holding two smaller ones close. They didn't move. Just stood there, as if waiting. Liam opened the door slowly, blaster in hand. Cold air and rain rushed in. What he saw made him freeze. A tall alien woman stood on his porch. Her skin was soft blue, glowing faintly in the night. Her hair was long and dark, wet and sticking to her face. She was holding two children, both shaking from the cold. The woman looked up at Liam, her eyes glowing softly. She spoke in a tired, broken voice. "I will warm your bed, human. Please, my children need a father." Liam blinked. He wasn't sure he heard her right. What did you say?" The alien woman dropped to her knees. Her children clung to her tightly. Her body trembled from the cold and the rain. Still, her voice was strong. "I'm not here to beg. I will work. I will clean. I will cook. I will fix anything. Just don't turn us away. We have no place to go." Liam looked at her face. She didn't look like a liar. She looked like someone who had lost everything. He lowered his blaster. "Get inside, all of you, before you freeze out here." The woman didn't smile. She simply nodded and stood up slowly. She walked inside with her children. Liam closed the door behind them. The warmth of the cabin made the children sigh. They were thin, small, and covered in torn clothes. One of them looked at Liam with wide, golden eyes and hid behind the woman's leg. "What's your name?" Liam asked. "Zalari," she replied. "These are my children, Tira and Ven." Liam handed her a towel. "Dry yourselves. I'll get you some food." Zalari took the towel carefully, almost like she didn't trust it. She started wiping her children first. Liam noticed her hands were full of small scars and burns. He didn't ask about them yet. He opened his storage box and heated some food packets. The smell of hot stew filled the room. When he handed them the bowls, the children looked up at him like he was some kind of hero. They ate fast. Too fast. Like they hadn't eaten in days. Liam sat across from them, watching. He had so many questions. Why was she here? What happened to her? What did she mean by, "My children need a father"? After a few minutes he spoke. "You said you'd warm my bed. What did you mean by that?" Zalari looked at him. Her face stayed calm, but her voice was quiet. "On my planet, it's how we ask for shelter, protection. We offer warmth in return. It doesn't have to mean anything more. I will do what is needed. I just want my children to live." Liam nodded slowly. It made sense, in a way. A different culture. Different words. Still, her offer sounded personal, emotional. "You don't have to do anything like that," he said. "You can stay. Just rest tonight." Zalari looked surprised. "You will let us stay?" "Just for the night," Liam replied. "We'll talk more in the morning," she nodded. "Thank you, human." Liam pointed to a soft mattress near the fireplace. "You and the kids can sleep there. It's warm." Zalari gently guided her children to the mattress. They curled up beside her, holding onto her arms tightly. Liam watched for a moment. There was something about her strong, but also broken. Brave but hiding pain, he walked back to his bed. But before he lay down, he noticed something. A long, deep scar ran across Zilari's back. She didn't see him looking, but Liam knew one thing for sure: this woman had seen war. And not just on the battlefield. And someone had hurt her deeply. The scream wasn't loud, but it was sharp enough to wake Liam from his sleep. His eyes opened instantly. He reached for the blaster beside his bed, heart beating fast. The cabin was dark, quiet. Only the soft crackle of the fire remained. Then he heard it again, a whisper and a sob. He got up slowly, walking toward the other room. There, lying on the mattress near the fire, was Zilari. Her children were asleep beside her, breathing softly. But she was trembling, holding a blanket tightly, her face wet with silent tears. Liam stepped back, giving her space. He didn't wake her. He knew that kind of shaking. He had seen soldiers do it after nightmares. He had done it himself. He went back to bed but didn't sleep. The next morning, Zilari was already awake, cooking something in his small kitchen. She had found the food supplies and was using them carefully. She moved quietly, almost like a shadow. Her children were still sleeping. Liam walked over. "You know how to cook with human tools?" Zilari nodded. "I used to feed many during the war. Food was often the only thing we had." She didn't look him in the eyes. Her hands moved quickly, cutting, stirring, cleaning. Almost like she was trained for it. "You didn't have to do all this," Liam said. She turned to him. "You gave us shelter. This is my thanks." The stew smelled good. Better than anything Liam had made for himself. He sat down as she served him a bowl. Her own food was untouched. "Aren't you going to eat?" "I will. After the children wake. They eat first." Liam studied her. She spoke like a soldier, like someone who had learned discipline the hard way. Finally he asked, "What happened to your husband?" Zilari paused. She didn't answer right away. Her shoulders became stiff. Her eyes looked far away, toward something only she could see. "He died," she said quietly. "Not in war, but because of it." There was something strange in her voice, something cold, something unfinished. Liam didn't press her. But he noticed it again, the long scar on her back, partly hidden under her shirt. That night, things became even more strange. Liam had gone outside to fix the broken motion sensors near the edge of the cabin. The sun had gone down. The air was cold. When he returned, the fire inside was warm. The room peaceful. Zilari was humming softly while fixing one of the broken lights above the sink. She stood on a chair, tools in her hand. It wasn't something most refugees would know how to do. "You fix lights too?" Liam asked, walking in. "I can fix many things. I worked on power systems during the early days of war." Liam narrowed his eyes. That wasn't normal for a regular citizen. "What were you before the war?" Zilari didn't answer. Instead, she climbed down from the chair and said, "Your home is damaged in many places. I can help repair it, if you allow me." "You don't talk much about your past." Zilari looked at him then. Her eyes were soft but tired. "That's because some things are better left behind." Later that night, Liam sat by the fire, thinking. The children had gone to sleep. Zilari sat nearby, arms around her knees. The room was quiet, but something hung in the air, unspoken questions, tension, a shared silence. Suddenly, Zilari broke. "You were a soldier, yes?" "Yes." "Then you've seen pain." He nodded. "Then maybe you will understand mine." Liam turned to her, listening. "My husband was a war hero," she said. "To our people, he was great, brave, strong, respected." She stopped, "But in private, he was cruel, especially to me, and to them." She looked toward the sleeping children. Liam felt a chill. "I tried to run once," Zilari continued. "He punished me. He said I could never leave, that I would always belonged to him. She lifted the back of her shirt slowly, just enough for Liam to see the full scar. It was long, deep, and ugly. He gave me this to remind me. Liam clenched his fists. She lowered her shirt again and said, I didn't escape the war. I escaped him. The fire cracked. The only sound in the room. You don't have to tell me more, Liam said softly. I wanted to. You deserve to. Know why I'm here, why I asked to warm your bed. She stood slowly and looked into his eyes. I don't want your pity. I want a safe place for them, and maybe, one day, for me too. Liam stood as well. He didn't touch her, didn't say anything for a few moments. Then he said, You have it. For as long as you need. Zilari gave him a small nod. A look passed between them of respect, of something unspoken, growing. But just as Liam turned to check the fire, he heard Zilari whisper something in her alien language. A name. Varrak. Liam froze. That name, he had heard it before. Varrak the Crimson Claw, an enemy general, a war criminal, a monster on the battlefield. His blood ran cold. That was her husband? Liam didn't sleep that night. He sat in the corner of the room, staring at the low fire, his hands tightly gripping a cup of cold tea. Zilari and her children were resting peacefully on the mattress, but his mind was racing faster than a battlefield. Heartbeat. She had whispered a name in her sleep. Not just any name. Varrak. The Crimson Claw, the Butcher of Black Moon Ridge, the alien general who ordered the bombing of a human medical base, killing everyone Liam knew. And now, Liam had his enemy's widow sleeping under his roof. He couldn't decide if he was angry or just shocked. Could he trust her? But then, he remembered her scar, the trembling in her sleep, the way she looked at her children like a shield ready to take any hit. That didn't match the cold, cruel enemy he remembered from the war. Still, the name stayed in his ears like poison. The next morning, Liam walked outside early. He chopped firewood with hard, fast swings. The cold air helped clear his head, but not his heart. Suddenly, he heard soft footsteps behind him. Zilari. She was carrying a blanket, which she placed gently on the bench. Her eyes met his. You heard me, didn't you? She asked. Liam didn't answer at first. He just nodded. You said his name, Varrak. She lowered her eyes. Yes. You were married to that monster? Zilari didn't flinch, but her voice became flat. I was given to him. I was 19. He wanted a mate to show his power. I was chosen. I had no choice. Liam dropped the axe. You could have left. She looked him in the eyes this time, anger flashing in them. I tried. Twice. The first time he broke my ribs. The second time, he locked my children in a power cell for a full day. Liam's stomach turned. He wasn't a husband, she whispered. He was a cage. There was silence between them for a long moment. Then Zilari sat on the bench. I didn't know who he truly was until I saw him order the burning of a human village, men, women, children, just to make a point. Her voice cracked. I wanted to stop him, but I was just a prisoner who shared his name. Liam sat down slowly beside her. His voice was low. He killed everyone in my unit. Even our medic. She was 17. Zilari closed her eyes. I'm sorry. I know it's not your fault, Liam said, but it's hard. It's hard to see his eyes in your son. To hear his name from your lips, she nodded. I understand. That's why I changed our names when we escaped. We don't carry his blood anymore, only our own. Later that day, Liam noticed something strange. A small drone no bigger than a bird hovered in the sky above the tree line. It blinked red, then flew away before he could shoot it. Liam's heart sank. That was a scout drone used by the old war factions to track targets. He ran back inside. Zilari. Did anyone know where you were going when you left him? No. 1. Why? We may have a problem, he explained the drone. Zalari's face turned pale. They found us, she whispered. Liam checked his comms terminal. No signals were coming in, but he knew it wouldn't stay quiet for long. That night, after dinner, he pulled out an old emergency bag from the storage room full of weapons. Shields, tools, and rations. Zalari helped without question. You know how to use a blaster, he asked. She nodded. I trained soldiers before I was taken. Liam raised an eyebrow. You trained them? I was a resistance fighter, she said simply. Long ago. As the children slept, the two of them sat by the fire again. Zalari looked into the flames. You want me to leave, don't you? Liam shook his head. No, I want to know the truth before the war finds us again. Zalari finally spoke the full story. She had been a commander's daughter, trained in tech and weapons. When Varrock rose to power, he took her as a trophy. She lost her freedom, her voice, even her name. She escaped only after faking her own death during a bombing raid, taking her children and hiding in cargo ships, moving from planet to planet. And now I'm here, she finished. With me, Liam said softly. She looked at him. Double quotes, yes, with you. Suddenly, the terminal screen lit up. A message had arrived. Short, direct, deadly. We know you're hiding the traitor. Return her, or die with her. You have 48 hours. Liam stared at the message, then looked at Zalari. Her hands were shaking, but not from fear, from rage. They want me back, she said. But this time, they'll face both of us. Asterisk. The sky was too quiet. No wind, no birds, no sound, just silence. The kind that comes before something bad happens. Liam stood on the roof of his cabin, holding a scanner. His eyes scanned the sky. Again and again, nothing. Yet, but he felt it. Something was coming. Inside the cabin, Zalari packed food and supplies into bags. She moved fast but calm. The children stayed close to her. They didn't speak much. Even they could feel the fear in the air. A message was still glowing on the terminal screen. Return the traitor, or die with her. Liam came down the ladder and stepped inside. We need to decide. Now, Zalari looked at him. I'll leave. Take the children. I'll lead them away. No, Liam said firmly. You're not running again. Not while I'm standing. She stared at him. You don't owe me anything. I do now, Liam said. You trusted me. And now I trust you. They sat together at the small table. Between them was an old war map. Liam pointed to the surrounding hills, caves, and river routes. He had already marked defensive positions, high ground, blind spots, escape paths. You planned all this? Zalari asked. Liam smirked. I was trained for worse. Zalari added a few new marks with her own data. This old pipeline here, if we reroute the heat core, it can create a blast big enough to block the trail for days. Liam raised an eyebrow. Where'd you learn that? I told you, she said. Before I was a prisoner. I was a soldier. Later that day, Liam activated the old perimeter alarms, tripwires, hidden drones, blaster turrets rusty, but still deadly. The children helped carry supplies underground into the storage cellar. It wasn't just about hiding anymore. It was about surviving. But that night, something changed. Zalari walked over to Liam as he was setting up the last sensor. I want to make you an offer, she said quietly. Liam looked up. What kind of offer? She took a deep breath. I'm not just here to survive. I want to build something. I want safety. I want peace. But not just for me and the children. For you too, Liam frowned. What are you saying? Zalari stepped closer. Her voice was steady. You're alone. So are we. But together, we're stronger. You gave us warmth. Let us give it back. Let us give you a family. Liam stared at her, not in shock but in silence. No one had ever offered him that. Not since the war. Not since he buried his friends. Are you saying you'd stay, even if they come? Zilari nodded. We won't run anymore. I'm done being afraid. Then she said it again, but this time, with feeling. I will warm your bed, human. Not as a trade, but as a promise. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. He lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling, her words repeating in his head. Was he really ready to open his heart again? He looked over to the mattress near the fireplace. Zilari and the kids were asleep, safe, peaceful. Then, beep, beep. The alarm. He jumped up, grabbed his rifle. Zilari was already on her feet. Sector 3 perimeter. She whispered, someone's here. Liam checked the camera feed. A shadow moved through the trees. Then another dot and another. He cursed under his breath. They're here earlier than we thought. Zilari grabbed her old shock blade. I'll protect the children. You hold the front. Liam nodded. If they break through, take the tunnel under the cellar. It leads to the old mine shafts. Go west. I'm not leaving you, she said. You might have to. The first shot rang out. A blast hit the outer turret. Sparks flew. The fight had begun. Liam ran to the ridge, dove behind cover, and fired back. His shots hit 2 drones. Metal parts flew across the dirt. More figures moved behind the trees, armored, fast. These weren't just soldiers. These were trackers, silent killers trained to take fugitives alive or dead. Liam fired again. One of them dropped. But 2 others slipped past him, heading toward the cabin. He screamed into the cum. Zilari, they're heading to you. Her voice replied, let them try. Inside the cabin, Zilari moved like lightning. Her blade flashed in the firelight. She took down one attacker with a slice across the chest. The other lunged at her, but she threw a chair into his path, then slammed him against the wall. She may have been a mother now, but once she was fire and fury. Outside, Liam watched. A third wave coming, too many. He reloaded, gritted his teeth, and yelled into the wind. This is our home now. If you want her, come through me. The sky caught fire. It wasn't the sun. It wasn't lightning. It was the glow of dropships, 3 of them, breaking through the clouds like metal dragons. Liam stood in front of the cabin, wind blowing his jacket back, rifle ready. Behind him, inside, Zilari and the children waited in silence. The war had returned, not across planets, not between armies. Right here, on his doorstep. As the first dropship landed in the nearby clearing, the trees shook. Dust flew into the air. Liam narrowed his eyes and crouched behind a boulder. He tapped his earpiece. Zilari, status? Traps armed. Kids hidden. I'm ready. Liam smiled. Then let's show them they picked the wrong home. The enemy soldiers stepped out tall, fast, armored, not wild aliens. Not confused scouts. Professionals. They spread out in a circle formation, blasters raised. One of them scanned the cabin. She's in there, he said. Orders are clear. Bring the traitor back, dead or alive. Boom! The ground exploded beneath them. The first trap, Zilari's pressure mines, flung 2 of the invaders into the air. Their armor cracked against the rocks. The others shouted and fired in every direction. But they didn't see Liam flanking them from behind. 1 shot. 1 down. Another shot. 2. He moved like a ghost between the trees, each blast finding its mark. Inside, Zilari heard the noise. The sounds didn't scare her. They focused her. She held her shock blade tight and watched the door. Then a hiss from the back window. An enemy soldier had made it through. Zilari didn't speak. She moved with 1 smooth strike. She kicked the blaster from his hand, spun low, and slashed across his leg. He screamed. She didn't stop. The next move sent him crashing through a table. He didn't get up. The children stayed hidden beneath the floor trapdoor, silent and shaking but safe. Outside, Liam ran low, avoiding return fire. 1 shot grazed his arm, burning the fabric. He ducked behind a tree, breathing hard. 3 enemies remained. One of them, the squad leader, was massive, armored in red. He stepped forward with a plasma cannon and roared, "Human! You are protecting a criminal. Step aside." Liam wiped the blood from his lip. "She's not a criminal. She's a mother. And she's under my protection now." The leader raised the cannon. Liam didn't wait. He charged out. The two clashed just as another turret activated. Zalari had rewired it from inside. It roared to life, firing at the attackers from the side. The squad scattered, and Liam tackled the leader into the dirt. The plasma cannon fired into the sky. Fists flew. Armor cracked. Liam punched, rolled, and grabbed the blaster. One final shot to the neck joint, and the red-armored leader fell. But not before he said one final word into his cums. "Send in the backup." Liam staggered toward the cabin, chest burning, arm bleeding. Zalari met him at the door. "You're hurt." "Just a scratch," he muttered. "They're sending more." She looked into the sky and saw a second wave of dropships beginning descent. "We can't fight them all," she whispered. "I know," Liam said, "but we can make it cost them." She nodded, eyes fierce. "Then we fight until the last breath." "No," Liam said, grabbing her hand. "We fight. And we survive. All of us." Zalari looked at him. Her voice cracked with emotion. "I don't want the children to see another war." "They won't," Liam said. "Because this time they have us." Just then, the terminal beeped. A message. Not from the enemy, a human code. A rescue signal. Zalari's eyes widened. "You called for help?" Liam grinned. "Let's just say I keep old favors in quiet pockets." She stared at him, hope flashing for the first time. "Will they come?" Liam looked at the sky. "They'd better, because if they don't..." He checked his rifle, blood dripping from his fingers. "I'll make this planet their graveyard." Asterisk, the children were drawing pictures underground. Crayons, old paper, shaky hands. Tira had drawn a house. Ven had drawn Liam, but when Zalari came down with food, she saw what else they drew. Fire, ships, monsters with guns. She knelt beside them, trying to smile. "It's just a bad dream," she whispered. But even a child knows the difference between a dream and a memory. Above ground, the air had changed. The second wave of ships landed just outside the valley. Dust choked the trees. The sky turned gray. Dozens of soldiers. No talking, no warnings. They came with one purpose. Take the traitor. Destroy anyone who stands in the way. Liam stood on the roof, rifle across his back, binoculars in hand. His arm was wrapped in makeshift bandages. He watched the forces line up like a flood waiting to crash. Zalari climbed up beside him. "How bad?" "Too many." "Any chance of rescue?" Liam checked the signal beacon. "Help is on the way. But they won't arrive before sunset." She stared at the army below. "We might not survive that long." Liam turned to her. "Then we make every second count." They worked fast. Zalari rewired the backup generator to overload on command, turning the cabin into a bomb if needed. Liam buried explosive charges near the trees. He called it the bite line. If enemies crossed it, they'd pay in fire. They placed blasters near windows, hid tripwires in the grass, and marked escape points. For the children, Liam gave each a small communicator. "You don't press this unless you're really scared," he told them gently. "Will we be okay?" Tira asked. Liam looked at her, then at Zalari, then back at the child. "As long as we stay together." As the sun began to sink behind the hills, silence fell. The enemy began to move. Lines of soldiers walked forward with precision. Heavy walkers followed behind, their footsteps shaking the earth. A voice echoed from a speaker on the lead ship. "This is your final warning. Hand over Zalari, Varak, and the children. The human will be spared." Liam walked forward to the edge of the clearing. No. The voice replied coldly, "You will die for her." Liam didn't blink. "Then I'll die protecting something finally worth it." The first shot rang out, not from the enemy. From Liam. His bullet hit the lead soldier straight in the eye. Then the world exploded. Zalari activated the traps. Flames erupted across the field. Metal pieces flew into the air. Screams echoed from the burning grass. Liam moved like wind between cover, shooting with speed and calm. He wasn't just defending, he was leading a war. Zalari joined him on the second ridge, her shock blade glowing. She stabbed one enemy, dodged two, then blasted another from behind. They fought as one, human and alien, soldier and survivor, fighter and protector. But then, a rocket hit the side of the cabin. The blast threw Liam backward. His ears rang. Blood filled his mouth. He looked up and saw the enemy moving closer. Zalari was surrounded. She was fighting hard, screaming, slicing, dodging, but her arm was bleeding. And she was slowing down. Liam pushed through the pain and raised his rifle again. 1, 2, 3 more down. But there were too many. Inside the cabin, fire spread. The children cried below in the cellar. Smoke slipped through the cracks. Tira called the communicator. "Mommy! Help! It's hot!" Zalari heard it in her ear and snapped. She screamed and tore through the soldiers. Like a storm, blades, rage, fire. Nothing stood in her way as she ran into the burning cabin. She kicked open the cellar door and grabbed her kids. Her face was burned. Her eyes were wild. But her voice stayed calm. "We're leaving now. Stay low. Hold tight." She carried them both out through the back hatch, coughing, crying, but alive. Liam saw them come out. Relief hit him, but then he felt something cold. A gun at his neck. "Move and die." The soldier said. Liam raised his hands slowly. "Your mission is over," the enemy growled. "You lose." But before the enemy could pull the trigger, a beam of blue light shot down from the sky. Boom! The soldier was gone. Liam looked up. Human dropships. Dozens of them. Reinforcements, at last. The battle was over. But the smoke still danced through the trees. Ash floated down like snow. And in the middle of it all stood a human, holding a broken alien child in his arms. Liam limped through the ruins of his cabin, now half burned, half collapsed. Zalari followed, carrying her son on her back, her face cut, her arms bruised. But her eyes burned with life. Rescue teams were landing around them. Medics ran in all directions. But to Liam, the only thing that mattered was that she was still standing, that they were still together. A soldier approached. "Sir, are you Liam Voss?" "Yes. Command says you requested emergency backup using an old Omega code. That code hasn't been used since the war." Liam nodded. "Well, it still works." The soldier gave a half smile. "We're here to evacuate. We can take the alien woman and her children into custody if you know," Liam said firmly. "They stay with me." The soldier blinked. "But sir, she's the mate of—" "I know exactly who she was," Liam interrupted. "But I also know who she is now. She's not your enemy. She's not your problem. She's my family." That night, under a temporary shelter, Liam sat beside Zalari. Her arm was wrapped in bandages. One of the medics had treated her burns. But she hadn't spoken in hours. "You okay?" Liam asked softly. Zalari looked at him, her voice a whisper. "I almost lost them." "But you didn't," he said. "Because you're stronger than anything they threw at you." She shook her head. "I was weak for so long, running, hiding." "No," Liam replied. "You were surviving. And you didn't just save your children, you saved me." Zalari stared at him for a long time. Then, in a trembling voice, she said, "Don't let them grow up without a father." Liam took her hand, held it tightly. "You're not alone anymore." "None of you are." Days passed. A new cabin was built, better than before. Zalari helped with the construction. The kids painted pictures again, but this time they drew flowers, trees, and smiling faces. Liam hung one of the drawings above the new fireplace. It showed 4 stick figures holding hands. 2 small ones. 1 tall human. 1 tall alien. Family. One evening, Liam walked outside and saw Zalari looking up at the stars. She was wearing a soft gray robe, her scars mostly healed. Her long hair flowed in the wind. He stood beside her. Thinking about leaving? He asked. She looked at him, surprised. Why would I leave the only home I've ever felt safe in? He smiled. Just making sure. She turned toward him, her eyes soft. You gave us shelter, food, protection. And you gave me something back, he said. Something I thought I'd never have again. What's that? Purpose, family, a reason to come home. There was a long silence between them. The stars blinked above like quiet watchers. Zalari stepped closer. Do you remember what I said? That night I first knocked on your door? Liam nodded slowly. I will warm your bed, human. She smiled. Back then, it was a plea. Now. She took his hand, placed it over her heart. Now it's a promise. That night, for the first time, Liam didn't sleep alone, and neither did she. Because some wars end with blood and fire, but others end with a quiet hand holding yours under a blanket of stars.